So let's take a look at the upcoming version next. I've already logged in to my Sanako Connect system. And right here at the top, we've simplified things. We now only have two different submenu items. This is, of course, the session creation window. Some minor changes here as well, but let's take a look at the file system. So for that, we clicked on exercises, and this is what we see. Right now, I have folders right here. I get to decide how I create the folders. I can organize everything exactly the way I want. I can also easily just drag and drop stuff here from my computer, for example. Or if I want to create audio or video files that I'll be using when creating exercises, I can do that right here as well. Now the My Exercises part is here on the left as well. And below that, there's a shared with me school. This is the school shared folder. So all the teachers at your institution will be able to add materials here. If your institution already has a huge bank of audio materials, video files, text files, image files, whatever you use in a language lab or in a language teaching platform, you can simply store them here. You can drag and drop all of the files at your institution here, and all of the teachers can see the files, can copy them over to their own exercises area as well. So it's very easy to use. It works exactly like any folder system in any other system that has folders. Let's then take a look at the exercise editor here. The exercise editor allows you to create, well, basically any kind of exercise you want. We've reworked the system based on your feedback. So the different exercise parts that you can use to create your exercise are always visible right here when you're creating the exercise. So all you have to do is either click or drag and drop, and the parts appear here. Let's take a look at one of my pre-made exercises for narrating an audio book. We're going to preview the exercise as a student. So this is exactly how your students would see the exercise as well. They see the instructions. I can record myself if I want as the teacher. My recording appears here. I can listen back to it, make sure that everything is exactly like I want. I can even click on submit, which would send it back to the teacher for review. We can reset that preview and complete the exercise again if we make any changes. So we have all of those options available right there. I also mentioned the image bank, so we can find it right here. Right now, let's find a picture of a sunset. It has a huge amount of images ready to be used in your exercise creation or in your activities. So all you have to do is pick the images here, and that would be added to your exercise area or the folder that you're currently in as well. For the next part, I'm going to enter this session as a teacher. We've added the join button here, so you no longer have to click on the three dots right there. When I enter the session as a teacher, this is what I see. The menu at the top has been, again, simplified by quite a bit. We now have the student. We can see the class view right here. And then we have the exercise creation area and sharing area as well. Like I mentioned earlier, The submissions can now be found here. So if your students return assignments to you for review, you can find them here, right next to the exercise. It's a much more convenient way than having a separate menu item for that exercise. The welcome message that I mentioned is right here. As a teacher, I've created a welcome message for my students. I've recorded a video with instructions for my students, and they will see these instructions when they enter this session. So let's take a look at this from a student's perspective. Familiar login right here. So we have a student coming in. They see the instructions and the video the first time they enter this session. They can easily minimize it, and what they see is what you have on your exercises. They can see the exercises that have been shared and can immediately access them. One small change here as well is that we've removed the need for your students to click on start when starting to work on an exercise. We feel that clicking on an exercise probably means that the student wants to actually start working on that exercise. So the exercise is immediately loaded and is ready to be used or completed. Let's take a look at the monitoring options that we have available now. So I'm going to launch let's launch an image description task. I'm going to use a file from my computer, but I could just as well use anything that I've stored in the My Exercises folder. We'll launch the activity. Those of you who have already used Connect know that this exact image is now displayed on the student screens. I can turn on the recording, and if I want to listen to my single student that's currently in this session, I have the ability to do so right here. I can click here to listen to the student, or I can click on the microphone button to speak with the student in question. I also have the option of sending direct messages or other student controls available to me while an activity is running. This makes it much easier to actually monitor your students while you're completing an activity. Okay, moving on. The question of when will the update go live for me is probably what everyone wants to know. We've scheduled the update to go live during the week starting on the 7th of October. We'll be sending messages your way, letting you know when the actual update is being applied. We're going to be doing that during the weekend when usage of Connect is probably very low as well.